It's all good, man. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Hey, it's all good, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is It's All Good, Man, the Better Call Saul podcast. My name is Brian, and with me, as always, is my gardener, Dave. Dave, how you doing today?
Grow up, Brian.
I get it. I get it.
Grow the fuck up, you asshole.
Dave and I also do the Nothing Important podcast. You can find that at www.nothingimportantpodcast.com, where we talk to people and celebrities more famous than we'll ever be. Right, Dave?
That is correct.
We thank you for joining us. Make sure that you tell your friends, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. Make sure that you talk to us on Facebook and Twitter, all that good stuff, and keep listening because you can win a t-shirt. Several people have won t-shirts, and we're looking to give out more. I got a whole box sitting right in front of me of large size Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul t-shirts sent to us from the nice folks at AMC. So the only way to get them is to do whatever the hell Dave and I say to do to get them. And, or
just do something, maybe an awesome compliment or something really clever, an unsolicited insight that blows our minds will reward you for your own initiative as well.
Exactly. Dave and I always say thank you for being awesome. So be awesome, and we'll thank you with a t-shirt. So here we go, Dave. Better Call Saul, episode 205. Dave, the name of it is?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, who is?
Apparently that is Chuck's wife.
Ex-wife, or do you think maybe they're still together?
I don't know. I was going to ask you that. I don't remember any references to Chuck being married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was kind of an interesting way to open the episode. We saw Chuck kind of turning on the lights, and at first I really wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, is he like cured now? But then I was like, he looks kind of younger.
I noticed that too. It was like he looked kind of younger, but then I realized that it's bluish.
Yeah, it had like that grayish blue hue to it, right?
And that usually signifies a flashback.
Yeah, it was one of the things that I think the series does good is that none of it is really too ham-fisted. You know what I mean? Like, because it showed him having dinner with his wife, or setting up dinner and talking to this lady that nobody's ever seen or heard of before. Mm-hmm. And it kind of leaves it up to the audience to try to put the pieces together before it actually states what exactly is going on.
Right. And plus, it's setting up this whole parallel about the violinist Rebecca's dealing with, and this whole parallel about morale affecting the quality of the product with this violinist in her orchestra, I'm assuming, or whatever.
Yeah.
And, Jimmy's involvement with HHM in the current day and morale being affected. They're drawing this really subtle parallel just throughout the dialogue.
So the dinner that they're putting together is for Jimmy, I guess, Rebecca to meet Jimmy for the first time, which makes sense because they were kind of estranged a little bit while Jimmy was being Slippin' Jimmy, and then Chuck brought him to Albuquerque. So at first I didn't catch on that, but I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they kind of had a separation of sorts for a while.
Yeah, as soon as he said, I apologize in advance, and they were discussing a dinner guest, and like they had an out signal. Yeah, I was kind of putting it together that Jimmy's coming to dinner after a period of disengagement.
See, and that was another thing that kind of threw me off a little bit because I don't think he mentioned that was his wife until after Jimmy appeared. So I was like, wait, that's where I started thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, have they been together a long time? Nobody ever said Chuck had a wife. Is this Chuck's wife? Like,
yeah, I was that was going through my mind as well. And it's like, but they had the closeness and they had the
like obviously
the chemistry.
Somebody important, but we had no clue who she was.
Right.
Like kind of makes it fun. That's what I'm saying. Like none of it is overtly ham-fisted. Like a lot of it leaves it up to the discovery of the viewer, I guess you could say.
And that's why people love this show.
Yeah. So Jimmy knocks on the door. I did like that he brought Old Style.
Old Style, a little taste of home.
Oh my God. Old Style beer. If you've never had Old Style beer, is that what they sell at the Cubs games? Do they still sell that?
I don't buy beer at sporting events, so I don't even know. It's all Bud and Miller.
I think they
Bud
still,
or Miller or whatever. I don't know.
I think they still sell it at the Cubs games, but Old Style is a very Chicago beer.
You just reminded me that I'm so glad I have not heard the Old Style commercials in maybe 2 years, because they used to have the worst commercials during every Cubs game.
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very Chicago-centric.
He brings the Old Style, and then, of course, Jimmy sits down, and they're having dinner and such, and they're all classy and drinking wine, and he's drinking Old Style out of the bottle, which is the classiest way to drink Old Style. Old Style is the only beer that somehow it's more classy to drink it out of the bottle than it would be to pour it in a glass. It's the only beer where that is possible. And if you guys have a chance to pick up some Old Style, pick it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, but it's definitely not the tastiest. It's
the worst beer you've ever put in your mouth. No, Old Milwaukee's Best is even worse.
Oh yeah, the Beast. You get Old Milwaukee's Best Light. That's where it's at, man.
Oh yeah,
the Beast,
I forgot.
Yeah.
The Beast.
Back in the day, where it was like a case of beer for like $8. That was like my jam, dude. That and Keystone Light, buddy.
the last time I drank the Beast, I slammed 3 of them and they came right back out, and not another one has entered my body since.
So, they're having dinner, and the thing about this dinner is I wasn't quite sure what was going on, because Jimmy is a very personable, like, hey, I'm the center of attention kind of guy, like, look how charming I am kind of guy.
Yeah.
But in this particular scene, I couldn't tell if he was playing it up. It seemed almost as if he was, like, intentionally more obnoxious than he typically would be. Did you get that feeling at all?
I got a little bit. I was taking it as he's just trying to charm Rebecca because he'd never met Chuck's wife. Like, this is a meeting of his sister-in-law. Right? And he's just really schmoozing and really... Plus, he knows that it digs at Chuck, and he saw it. So I think he did kind of play it up.
Yeah, play it up. That's kind of what I got out of it, because I was like, man, that's a little obnoxious even for that character. Like, it seems like he's really kind of just going for it, you know? And
but he seemed more focused on her. Like, he was just trying to impress her, or, like
maybe feeling her out, seeing where she's at with things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he starts telling lawyer jokes. Chuck isn't amused. I mean, they're kind of corny jokes, but I guess they could be funny if you're sitting there with a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the way Michael McKean played that too, because his I didn't interpret his performance in that scene as really being annoyed. I took it as he just had disdain for the fact that his brother was maybe so comfortable in his skin and like so willing to like be outgoing with people they hold dear.
This seems to be like, when you see a reflection of yourself in somebody else, and sometimes it kind of, you don't like it so much.
No.
Is that what I'm trying to say? Like what's that? What'd you say?
I said no.
Oh, let me start that over then. Sometimes you see somebody that has the qualities that you wish you had in yourself, but you don't really have that, and they're...
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
They're getting, they get more out of it, so you get a little bit of jealous, and you get kind of irked by it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that's... Because this is another example of how Jimmy's schmoozing can get him farther along with people than the hard work it takes to, achieve things sometimes.
Good point. And I did like how they were sitting in the bed towards the end there, and Chuck decides that he's going to go out on a limb, and he tries to make a joke, and he gets nothing but a pity laugh from his wife.
Right. Which, honestly, to me, that's a trope. I was expecting that. Like, okay, yeah. Chuck's going to tell a lame one. She's going to be... not impressed, and then it's going to fade to black.
Yeah.
Because he's going to realize he's not as charming as Jimmy. That's why he works so much harder for things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And then I believe it was the opening. What was the opening this week, Dave?
It was the bench with the ad on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the same as last season.
Right, we bring this up every episode because last season it was fun just to kind of see the different openings that they had from episode to episode, because that's pretty rare that a show would have 10 different openings.
Right, and they cycle through them each season. Maybe there's something like small that's different, or maybe there's going to be one that isn't the same coming up or something, Yeah. Maybe the finale will be different or something. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, it opens back up. We're in Davis and Maine's office late at night. And Jimmy putting in some late hours, and he's trying to get a hold of Kim, still trying to make stuff right, apparently.
Yeah, he's got a plan, and apparently he knows that Kim will still be there at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that was like, that's kind of late to just assume somebody's still working.
Well, maybe he knew how it went, you know, because
Well, they are seeing each other.
Yeah. So he would be privy to that info. But this is the first time we're introduced to Aaron, or as I have in my notes, the weird girl.
I put annoying associate uptight girl.
So at first, I mean, that was kind of odd, right? I wasn't really sure what direction they were going to go with that on her first appearance. You know, like I didn't know if they were going to take like the lame, like new associate lawyer, like tries to seduce like the hardened superstar, you know, new superstar of the agency or firm, I guess is what lawyers call their little clubhouse.
The Golden Boys.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't really sure where she was going at first, but then she started correcting him about putting the recyclables in the trash can as opposed to the recycle bin.
Oh my God. Yeah, like that was a little uncomfortable for me, honestly. You know, like I saw that can in your wastebasket and like
right.
She's like it's a little too much. She's stalking him.
Well, I had a couple thoughts on that. She was also talking about like the formatting house style that they use for their notes in between.
By the way, 2 spaces after a period, you're goddamn right. It's 2 spaces after a period. It just makes the page look neater.
Okay, so yeah, that might have been true back then, but actually now a lot of times word processing systems already account for the 2 spaces. So if you put 2 spaces, you're putting double the spaces on there.
Oh, so you
like
4?
Yes, because like the period itself is 1 space, and then a lot of times in the font for the period character, they have 2 spaces. So if you add 2 more, you have 4 spaces, and then it's just fucking anarchy, Dave.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, God. If
anybody out there wants to school us on macros and word processing programs for, let's just say Windows XP, I guess would probably be the one that was out by then. First person to correct us on that and show us definitive proof of how many spaces are after a period when you hit period, I'll send you a Breaking Bad t-shirt. How about that?
I like it.
Remember, only size large, and you have to be in the US because I send these. Although AMC sent me a whole box of t-shirts, I pay for the shipping out of my pocket, and I'm not going to send them to Zimbabwe or something like that. As much as I love our Zimbabwe listeners, Ben from Australia, I love you, but I'm not paying $50 to send you a t-shirt, bud. So it was very odd. So a couple thoughts on that, Dave. One, the kind of thing that I thought funny was the recyclable in the trash can. Ed Begley Jr. plays Cliff Davis, and Ed Begley Jr. is a huge environmentalist and proponent, and not really rabble rouser, but he's very vocal on the environmentalist scene.
Activist.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
And that's a good call, dude, because I didn't put that together. I was like, I didn't even, because I've been making jokes about the green and the Simpsons jokes about it. And good catch. I like it.
Yeah. So I wonder if he had a little hand in putting that on there. And if we get him on the show, we'll be sure to ask him. But I wonder if that was something he just wanted tossed in there.
It could be that, or it could be the writers kind of playing a little joke too, because he obviously has a great sense of humor. I mean, he's in Portlandia. Yeah, totally. So another couple notes is we'll get back to that later. We'll get back to that later when this woman's name is Erin, we find out, but I'm not sure if we find that out till later or during this scene. It's a little later. I think it's the next scene or something.
Okay, so
I would have wrote her name down.
Gotcha.
And I didn't.
Well, we'll talk more about...
I did notice that she says get her done, though.
Oh, does she? Oh, God.
Yeah, meet me, we'll get her done. And I rolled my eyes, sorry.
Well, that was about the time Larry Cable Guy was a thing, right?
Yeah, that's why I rolled my eyes, because I knew it's a timely reference.
When Larry Cable Guy was also Tow Mater from Cars, as opposed to now where Larry the Cable Guy is just Tow Mater from Cars.
Oh, I'll tell you what, my friend. The studio that we record out of, Third City Sound in beautiful downtown Joliet, Illinois, there's a theater kitty corner called the Rialto. It's kind of famous.
Yeah.
On the marquee, advertising next month, Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy. So, yeah, still relevant.
Yeah, well, hey, man, look, whatever you think about the guy's style of comedy, the dude's making his money. He's found his thing. Good for him. Like, yeah,
ride that.
Who am I to shit talk that guy when like I'm not worth millions?
I say
$4 million.
if I could ride a one-trick pony all the way to the bank, I totally would.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we're back in the HHM cornfields. Kim's working late. She's ignoring Jimmy's call. And Jimmy decides to stop by.
Yeah, he's got some interesting ideas.
Yeah, I don't really know where he was going with that. He left. Well, in the previous scene, he left Davis in Maine because Aaron, the weird girl.
Yeah, he just straight bailed on her. He's like, I'll meet you in the next room, and then he leaves.
Yeah. Just totally split on her, right?
He just kind of slipped out.
Which I just kind of laughed at because I was like, oh, that's kind of a dick move. But then we find out in the next scene when he goes and visits Kim at HHM after hours, he actually considered that quitting, like walking out.
I didn't get that.
Really? Because he says this is where he goes talks to Kim. Kim's kind of pissed off. Jimmy stops by, and he gives her the whole, like, hey, I can fix this. And she says, this is the Kettleman fiasco all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says that he has an idea. And she fires back, well, I'm not suing HHM and I don't need you to save me.
Right. I save me. I got that. And he wanted her to sue her own firm.
Right. And what set all that off was his solution was like, well, because he was kind of miffed that she wasn't happy to see him. And he was just like, well, I quit Davis in Maine.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said it right here, unless I wrote that down for no reason. But yeah, he says he quit Davis in Maine.
I didn't hear him say he quit Davis in Maine.
Okay, totally, he did.
Because he showed up the next day.
Right, because she said she set him straight. And it's like, basically, what the hell is that going to solve? That's not saving me, and I don't need you to save me.
I don't.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. You got to look it up. I don't have to prove it. Look it up.
I can't Google it. It's not on the air yet.
Look it up.
I swear to God, he didn't quit his job. That's
Dumber than you are.
That's huge, dude. This is going to make me look like a bigger idiot.
Yeah. So no, for real though, he did. He quit. He even says, he's like, and he kind of sheepishly says it. And he's like, I quit Davis in Maine. And she was not impressed by that at all. She was kind of actually like, oh, well, thanks a lot, dick. Like, that's even actually worse because now you look at, now everybody that stuck their neck out for you, you may look like a huge fucking dickhead. Look it up.
Oh, man. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Totally happened. See, this is going to be the cactus thing all over again, Dave. I can see Twitter blowing up.
But I did take away with this that Jimmy's starting to think that maybe it's not really about Chuck. Maybe Chuck isn't extorting him, which is why he didn't take the bait before.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of planting that seed.
Yeah.
And I realized in the scene where Chuck's grabbing his wrist in the last episode or a couple episodes ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That he asked Howard, he's like, what are you going to do? And I didn't realize how important that was. But it's totally Howard's call to put her down in the cornfields.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Jimmy's way off on this, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next scene, we're back at Davis in Maine, and I was surprised that Jimmy was there because as it was panning through the office, I thought it was going to be a scene where they wondered where the fuck Jimmy went, and that was going to cause some sort of shitstorm. But no, it's actually Jimmy going back on his idea to quit, and he meets Aaron there, and he starts trying to make up excuses as to why he wasn't there or why he left. Some sort of weird medical excuse. I forget. What did he say was his medical excuse?
When he returned to work the next day from the job he didn't quit, he told Aaron that he had gastroesophageal reflux disease or
right, yeah.
Or GERD.
Right.
Like he had to gird up his loins when he quit his job, apparently.
Right. And Aaron doesn't buy that shit either. Like she's completely unimpressed and is just kind of like, hey, can we get back to work?
She's a second year associate that gives notes to a fourth year associate. She's a sharp chick. She's in top for a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to that, I did like that little exchange where Jimmy tried to pull rank on her a bit. And she kind of wasn't swayed by that at all. No,
and
she's
then
like, no, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying your notes could look better if you use the house file or the house style.
Right. That's just the way we do things here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Dave has to get something terribly wrong in every fucking episode lately.
So anyway, she doesn't buy Jimmy's excuse. The door closes, and Jimmy is back to work. I think he quit Davis and Main for a grand total of probably 8 hours. So not the most triumphant of stands, but a stand nonetheless, I guess.
Well, he quit. He quit like a ninja. Like nobody even knew.
Yeah. So we get to this little scene. I wasn't sure what was really going on at first, where Kim's doing the stick-up notes on the windows, and she's just apparently networking and working contacts. But unless I missed something, it didn't really say what the hell she was doing that for at first.
I picked it up pretty quickly that she is trying to do what Jimmy did.
Yeah.
She's trying to secure a large account.
Yeah.
To get ahead, because instead of working hard, she saw Jimmy just kind of get a large account and get a partner track, so she figures she could do the same thing. She's back on track.
Yeah, see, that's very astute of you, Dave. I did not catch that at first. I kind of thought, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Like, why is she doing this? For some reason, it never clicked. And I'm like, okay, she's obviously networking and working clients. And I thought maybe at first, like, she was like searching for another job.
I did think that at first. At first, I thought another job, but then there's something in the dialogue. I didn't write down specific dialogue, but it came out in the dialogue that she was just like trying to connect with another law firm, is what I was thinking at first, and try and get in, some big cases together. And then, unfortunately, she keeps getting hit on instead of getting job offers.
Yeah, well, she is an attractive lady for sure.
I know the feeling, Kim. I know the feeling.
We finally see Mike for the first time. He's on the phone with Stacy in his in the mic booth.
Yeah, for good reason, because he is messed up.
Yeah, I love that he used a car accident as a reason as to why his face was all busted up.
Yeah, gonna get airbags in the next one.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy starts humming the Rocky theme at him. That was funny.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Did he really?
Yeah, he's in the, it's like, this is my babysitter or something, and he's like, dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's totally the Rocky theme.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great. That's the good catch. Good catch. Good catch.
See, for everything I get wrong, I get two right.
Yeah. So is this the first time? This is the first time he's been back at the courthouse since he initially turned down Davis and Main, or at least the first time that we've seen.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, but that's true. That's I think that's the first time. Is that the first time he's talked since he? I'm not gonna let that happen. Like this season.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first time we've seen him back at the courthouse anyway. But he must have been there more because he was there with Erin, the babysitter chick, and because he was trying to bribe the woman behind the counter with the Beanie Baby, and she pulls it back and saying that it was a bribe, and he's like, "No, I'm just kind of greasing the wheels," and she's like, "No, that's a bribe."
Those freaking millennials and their rules, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sticklers.
I don't know. Yeah. I like how he said that he won't get it. He said, "Don't worry, he won't get in trouble." And she's like, "I'm not worried about you getting in trouble." But I think that is the first time he's been back. And he runs into Bill, the Petty with the Prior guy.
See, I was thinking that. I wasn't sure if that was the Petty with the Prior guy. I thought it was a different actor, but I don't remember his name from the first season.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the same guy, because I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. Remember, he always met him in the bathroom, and he was kind of surprised. Like,
he kind of had that attitude. The attitude translated. You must have a sick office, and you must have a sick car.
Yeah, he was all of a sudden.
It's all
envious.
Jealous.
Yeah, envious and impressed.
And he's like got that. Actually, my note was kind of douchey.
Yeah.
And he's got vomit on his shoulder again.
Yeah, I like how I like how as it goes on. Actually, here's my thing: is at first it sounded like he was really impressed, but then as it went on, it seemed like he was almost
butthurt.
Like not vengeful, but more kind of like, I can't believe this asshole fell into this. Yeah, like well, yeah. I guess to varying degrees. Like, I guess at first I thought it stemmed from. At first I thought it stemmed from some admiration, but then as it went on, it became obvious that it actually came from a little bit of disdain.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, it, as he spoke, it got a little more tinted green.
Right, yeah. Exactly. He cared less and less. He's like, because every time Jimmy would try to talk to him, he'd like, ask him just another asinine question. It's like, "Oh, man, they give you a car? I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty nice car. Like, oh, Beamer? Like, I started throwing out there. He's like, what, they put you up in a place? And he's like, well, yeah, they have corporate housing, but that's not. He's like, oh, that's got to be nice. Like,
Didn't he mutter something on the way out or shake his head?
Yeah, lucky bastard.
That's what it was. I didn't write that
on the
down.
way out the door, lucky bastard. Yeah.
Is it luck though? Because it's his personality that gets him there.
No, man. Luck. What is it? Luck is when
opportunity meets preparation.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, and what can you say? Slippin' Jimmy's always on, my friend.
He's always prepped, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And just thinking real quick with Jimmy's relationship with this new this Erin girl.
Mm-hmm.
Just going back to that, that's something I can actually relate to in real life. Like, like I'm not like an executive by any means, but relatively speaking, I hold an okay title distinction for my field of employment.
You have people under you.
Yeah.
You have people under you, and that is kind of what I consider a legit position. Right, you're responsible for other people.
Right. So as I was watching this girl, it totally reminded me of. So at one point, I was working downtown Chicago, and I had this job, and I was really excited about it and ready to run with it. But although I didn't cause any of it, because it was literally like my first day, they assigned me like a babysitter, and it wasn't like it wasn't like training, right? And it wasn't training, and it wasn't somebody just to show me the ropes. It was literally somebody just to babysit me, almost as if they were like, okay, well, we hired this guy who's a little different from our typical candidate, so we're going to try to turn this guy into our typical candidate, in which case, like, it was a bummer for me, because I was like, well, why did you even hire me?
It's like bowling with bumpers on.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you're going to get the strike, but it's just not as satisfying.
Right. So I can see where Jimmy's coming from is that, because he kind of wants to be unencumbered a little bit, because he feels that he's kind of proved himself, and now he has this anchor who, if things ideally worked out the way that they should, there's no reason she should even be able to question his decisions.
Right.
But even though she's lower on the totem pole, somehow she holds sway for those above him on the totem pole, and I can totally understand where that's coming from.
Because she is more entrenched in that particular system.
Yeah, like exactly.
Like he may even know more about the law in general, but as far as that particular entity goes, she's kind of nudging him and guiding him and being an uptight person about it.
And like Jimmy, I quit really soon after that bullshit started. Except for, unlike Jimmy, I didn't go back the next day. I just flat out quit after like 2 months.
But did you tell anybody, or did you just walk out and never show up again?
No, this is what I said exactly. I called my boss and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, a job for me to work, it has to be fun. You've made this absolutely no fun. I'm giving you 3-week notice. My last day is this. I will not show up after that.
That's also how I can see Jimmy being eventually. This is just no fun to play it this way.
Yeah. So
gotta have fun what you're doing, man.
I can see where. Yeah, exactly. I can see where he's coming from. So,
speaking of job parallels, this next scene is kind of how I feel sometimes about trying to get a job and just getting rejected over and over again.
Well, what scene are you talking about?
Kim. It goes back to the montage with Kim and the Post-its again.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah, right. So she's back working the phone, working contacts. Yeah. Right. Contacts, calling people.
Just hustling and trying more and more and more and more. And there's a song playing in the background.